Hey guys, I'm Rob and welcome back to Rob's Model Cars. Now firstly, I have to explain that I probably look quite dark in this actual intro to this video, and that's because I don't have my usual filming lights running, and I've also set all the defaults on my camera to show you what I'm about to show you. Now, when I built this display setup for these model car collection around 4.5 years ago, I needed around 40 linear meters of LED light strip to run in each of these bays. Now, I just opted for the eBay solution and I bought all the LED light strips off eBay. Now, the issue that I have now is that they're starting to fail. Now, if you have a look at some of these bays in here, they're all starting to look like different colors. So some of the ones through here are starting to look bluish. The cabinet lights in the corners here, because I built those cabinets later than the original cabinets, even though they're from the same manufacturer, those lights, they're a different color. And there's some other random bays as well, where the colors are starting to change, which is not a good thing. Now, usual LED light strips, they say you get around 30,000 hours of use out of them. I don't run all of these cabinets every night. I have them on separate transformers, so I can just switch certain cabinets on, and I estimate that these LED lights have run no more than 2,000 hours over the last 4.5 years. So really quite disappointing that they're all starting to fail, because it wasn't cheap. I mean, they are cheap eBay LEDs, but when you're talking about this sort of quantity of lighting, it's still not cheap. We're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, I have been, over the last 2 months, trying to find some replacement LEDs. I've gone the eBay route again and ordered a few samples from different suppliers, and to be honest, I wasn't happy with any of them due to the quality of light and the brightness and the clarity of the light. So we'll get into that in a minute. So I bit the bullet and I went and found a supplier locally here in Queensland, Australia, called Prisma LED. Now, they only sell premium quality LEDs, and they also supply photographic and film quality LED strips to Warner Brothers Studios here in Queensland, Australia as well. So when I got some of their samples and brought them home and swapped them out, the difference is absolutely amazing, incredible in fact, and it actually gave a lot of new life to my expensive model cars sitting in there. So I just wanted to show you that first. I'm sure you can see that on camera that they all look quite different. Some of them are still bright on the sides. My Liberty Walk display cabinet here is still pretty bright, but the color is changing. As these LEDs get older, they're starting to lose the whiteness, and they're starting to get more bluish, if that makes sense. So you can definitely see in this section here that they're really starting to go blue, and they really need to be changed, unfortunately. You may have noticed it in my last 10 or 15 or so model reviews where I'm standing in front of my display case here. You can see behind me that the colors are different in these bays. So let's talk about the differences, are all the technical details of LEDs and what makes a cheap LED and what makes a good quality LED. Okay, so let's now talk about the technical aspects of LED strip lighting. Now, whether you get flexible LED strip like this or rigid strips, most suppliers of LEDs will rate them in color. So they'll basically list them as warm white or cool white. Now, sometimes they will list a daylight color as well, which is what I originally ordered. Now, let's talk about that color range. So that color range of warm white usually is around 3,000 to 3,500 K. Now, K stands for Kelvin, Okay, so 3000 to 3500 K is warm white, usually. Now, warm white is a yellowish colored light. Whereas if you go to the other end of the spectrum to cool white, that is usually around 6000 to 6500 K or Kelvin. Now that's more of a bluish light, so the higher that number goes, the LEDs will appear more blue. The lower you go down towards 3000 K, the yellower the light goes. Now the strip lighting that I ordered off eBay 4 years ago, this was described as daylight, or some people call it neutral white. Now that is what is supposed to be closest to natural daylight outside, and that hovers somewhere in the middle between 4,500 and 5,000 K. Now the problem with this cheap LED lighting is that those numbers vary wildly. So someone's daylight, they say, which is 4,000 K, could actually be 55, 6,000 K, and same as cool white. Their cool white, I've seen some on eBay where they say their cool white is 7,000 to 7,500 K, which is really a bluish light. Now, that is not what you want to display your model cars. You really want to have somewhere in the middle, like a daylight or a neutral white. As I said, the problem with that is that so many manufacturers may say that's what it is on their listing on eBay, but it really isn't. When you actually get it home and plug it in, you go, wow, that's so yellow, or that's so blue, that is not a neutral white. Now, when it comes to displaying models with all these fantastic colors of real paint codes that these model manufacturers use, you really want a really high quality LED light to really show the true colors of all these expensive model cars that we collect. So that comes to the next rating of LED lights, and that is called the CRI, which is short for Color Rendering Index. Now what that means is that the higher that CRI number is, the more accurate the lights will show the colors, meaning that if you look at a red car with your eye, the higher that the LED strip CRI is exactly how your eye would see it in sunlight, okay? So most of the cheap LED strips off eBay are lucky to have a CRI of 80. Now 80 is a really low number for LED strip lighting, and that is not really going to make your reds look really red. Your yellows will look an off color, and especially pearl colors, pearl whites, metallics, things like that. With a CRI or color rendering index of only 80, it really will not show the true colors of those models. Another thing to consider as well, that when you look at this full carbon fiber Ferrari Enzo model I've got here, it's really hard to see the carbon pattern because of the CRI of these cheap LED light strips. Now there's one more rating which is lumens, which is LM, which is the brightness of the LED light strips. Now a lot of the manufacturers on eBay, or the sellers on eBay I should say, won't actually list a lumen rating on the LED light strip, so you don't really know how bright they are going to be. It doesn't matter if you hook it up to a really powerful transformer. If the lumen quality is really low on the LEDs, it's just not going to be bright. Now these were pretty bright when I hooked them up years ago, but as I said, the color is changing on them. Some of the strips have failed already, and I've replaced a couple of spare ones a year ago, but it's just got to the point now where I really need to change these out. I'm really not happy with the LED lighting. Now let's talk about some good quality LEDs. So as I said, I got these from Prisma LED. I'll put all the links in the video description of this supplier. They sell fantastic quality LED strips, but they also sell what I'm about to show you now, which is the premium LED light strips for the film and photographic industry. Now, if the movie studios are buying these to correctly light up their movie sets, they must be pretty good. Now, I've already hooked a couple of these up last week to have a bit of a look at it, and the difference is just, as I said, it's mind-blowing. It makes all the colors look so much more vibrant. The reds are so much redder. The yellows are so much yellower, if that's a word. And it just makes an amazing difference. So what we have here, this is a 5500K, which is a photographic quality light. Now, when you see my videos where I showcase a model in my photo box, that's actually got 5500K photographic quality LED light bulbs in there, which is why the colors look so vibrant in those videos. A lot more vibrant than what you see here in this display case. So these LED strips are 5500K, which is pretty much neutral white or daylight, but absolutely true when you film with these lights. They are actually spot on with color. Now, the next thing with this is the lumen rating. Now, these are rated at 3,000 lumens, which is really very bright. Now, I'll show you the difference here. Usually when you buy a 5-meter roll of LEDs off eBay, it's around 300 LEDs in a 5-meter length. Now, these film quality LEDs, you can see, I'll show you the difference here. You can see that how close the LEDs are together. Now, these film quality ones have 660 individual LED chips per 5-meter length, so more than double. So that's where you get your brightness. But the main thing that I love about these new LED strips is the CRI, or the color rendering index. Now, these are rated at 96, which is nearly as high as you can go on LED light strips. So that is why these film quality or movie quality LED light strips really intensely show the colors of all these model cars. Now, what I'll do, I'm going to just change out two of these bays and just show you the difference of the colors. Okay, so you can see here that the reds just don't look real red. Now, this is a Rosso Corsa model, and you can see that it just doesn't look as red as it should do. Same as the pearl yellow, the metallic red over in the back. And when you come down here, this is one of the bays that's really suffering. The light strip is turning bluish, and it just doesn't make the reds look that red. So it does a little bit at certain angles, but yeah, just really disappointing, the light quality. So these are the old LED eBay light strips. So now I'm going to change out to the new film industry or movie quality LED light strips, just to show you the difference. Now check that out. Now that is film quality LED light stripping as they use in the film and the movie industry. So you can tell straight away that before, some of this lighting actually looked quite bright and quite neutral, but you can see now how bluish these LED light strips from eBay look compared to the true 5500K 96 CRI LED light strips. So I'm sure you can see that on the camera straight away, but I'll grab the camera now and we'll take a closer look at the difference of the model cars. So as you can see here with the LED lighting, how much redder that model car is compared to before. It's the same with these ones as well. So as you can see, the reds are much redder, the blue metallic and the yellows, all the colors are just so much more vibrant now with the premium LED light strips. So yeah, that is an absolute massive difference in lighting. Okay, now it's going to take me a good part of a whole day to change out all the LED strips on all these display cases, but as you can see, the difference is massive between these cheap eBay LEDs and these premium high quality LEDs. So once I finish changing all these lights out, I'll give you guys another look at the entire display case. A full collection video is coming soonish. I will definitely do it before the end of the year, but the priority at the moment is to change out all these LED light strips. So I'll do that, and hopefully at the end of today I can just show you the end result. But definitely worth spending some good money on some proper LED lighting. It doesn't matter whether you have big display cases, small glass display case setups, built-in cabinets. The way you light up your models to really show the quality and how much you've spent on your collection is to invest in some good quality LED lighting. So I've got a lot of work ahead of me, so I'll show you when I'm finished. Okay, now it's actually been 3 days since I filmed the first part of this video because it has taken me a long time to change out all the LEDs in all these cabinets, and I've also changed out the wiring and the transformers also. Now with the way I built all these cabinets, I actually have a main positive and negative wire that runs down the side of each cabinet, and each LED joins into that main cable. Now I had a small figure 8 style wire for the old LEDs, but because these LEDs from Prisma actually draw a bit more power, I've changed out to a thicker cable, and I've also changed out the transformers also. Now the cheaper LED light strip was powered by cheap LED transformers also from eBay, and they just weren't up to the job to power these new super bright Prisma LEDs. So it's made an absolute massive difference to my collection. All the red cars look super red now, and all the other colors, the dark metallic reds, the pearl yellows, are really shown off to their best with all this new LED lighting. So it's made a massive difference. All the colors are exactly the same now. I'm a little bit OCD with that, but it is very important. I've spent a lot of money on this car collection over the years, so spending a couple of $1,000s on premium quality LED lighting to really show the quality of every single model that is in this display case was well worth the investment. So if lighting is important to you guys as well to light up your models, I can highly recommend these LED light strips from Prisma LED. So again, all the links are in the video description for these fantastic products. You know what you're going to get because I've used them. eBay is just a gamble. So that's going to wrap up today's video about cheap LED strips off eBay versus premium quality film industry LEDs. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative, and be sure to go and check out their website, link in the description. So that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned, plenty more videos on the way. But until next time, thanks for watching Rob's Model Cars.